review for Miller's Crossing, 1990, directed by the Coen brothers. The synopsis is Tom Reagan, an advisor to a Prohibition-era crime boss, tries to keep the peace between warring mobs, but gets caught in divided loyalties. So I tried to film this video a couple times and things kept going wrong. So hopefully this goes okay. But Miller's Crossing, interesting movie because it's a Coen Brothers movie, but it's a gangster movie. And it's one that I enjoy, definitely. I like it a lot. It's also different because it's the Irish mob. They're kind of at war with the Italian mob. It's, it's a pretty interesting movie. The Tom Reagan, who's like the big boss, he's the Irish mob boss. Gabriel Byrne's is an advisor to him, his like top advisor. And in the beginning of the movie, John Polito comes to him, and he has beef with John Turturro because John Polito runs gambling on like boxing fights. He fixes them. One of the guys, I think he's called the Drop because he's a good boxer, but he will lose sometimes on purpose, and then he'll make a bunch of money. John Turturro's kind of caught up in all this too, in this gambling. He knows who's going to win or lose, and he thinks he's leaking out who's going to win or lose, and he's doing side bets to make a bunch of money. But when he does that, the odds go, it messes up the odds. Because it's like 4-1 odds, 5-1 odds. They drop to, 2-1. So John Polito isn't making nearly as much money as he could. So he's angry at Turturro. And he goes to, but he's being protected by Reagan, the Irish mob boss. So he goes to him. He doesn't want to just, kill him because he actually doesn't want to start a war. He goes to him, asks permission to kill him. He's like, just give him to me. I'll do it. You don't have to worry about it. The problem is that Reagan is in love with Turturro's sister, Marcia Gay Harden, and so he doesn't want to give him up. Gabriel Byrne says to him, just give him up. Like, he's not a trustworthy guy. It's probably true with what Polito's saying, and it is true. Just give him up. There's really no downside here. And then he's like, I know you're in love with her, but and then he doesn't like her either. He starts saying, she is she runs around town, she sees a bunch of men. You can't trust her. You could do better. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to give him up. So tied into all of this is, it's kind of like in The Big Lebowski when he says there's a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. So tied into all of this is that there's this character called the Dane, played by J.E. Freeman, who's kind of Polito's top muscle, top kind of advisor. He wants Turturro dead. The Dane, which this isn't, it's kind of said, but it's kind of said cryptically. The Dane is gay. He is seeing Steve Buscemi, the Mink. That's like his boyfriend. But John Turturro is also kind of the Mink's boyfriend. And maybe the Dane, too, was once with Turturro. So there's kind of this, like, gay love triangle going on. And the Dane is now pissed at Turturro. He wants him gone. He wants him dead. So there's also that. And then in private, Gabriel Byrne says that to him. I think in private, that, you can't really trust what the Dane is saying because he just wants him dead because he's pissed at him because he's going after his love interest, the Mink. So So yeah, so there's that too. And then also tied into all of this is later it's shown that that Gabriel Byrne is sleeping with Marcia Gay Harden, even though he's like really mean to her and talks, is not nice to her at all. But it's kind of this love-hate relationship. And in fact, in one scene, Tom Reagan goes to Gabriel Byrne's house in the middle of the night and meets with Gabriel Byrne, and they have some drinks, and he's like, well, I don't know where she is. She disappeared. I had one of my men on her, and now he's disappeared. So can you help find her? And he's like, okay, fine. And then he leaves, and then he walks into his bedroom, opens up the doors, and Mauricia Gay Harden is in his bed. And so that he's sleeping with her, and he knows where she is, and she's two-timing him with him. So that's also tied up into all of this. And then, Marcia Gay Harden thinks that Gabriel Byrne is actually in love with her. And that's why he's saying, just give up her brother, because then that will make her hate Tom Reagan, and then she'll go with Gabriel Byrne. So yeah. And that's pretty much the setup for the whole movie, because then I guess I could get into spoilers, but overall, it's a really good movie. Wouldn't say it's perfect. There's a Roger Ebert article I'll read in a minute that I pretty much agree with what he says. He gives it 3 out of 4 stars. I think that's fair. It's a beautiful movie. It's beautifully shot. I think it's shot by Barry Sonnenfeld. Yeah, who shot Blood Simple. Who shot Misery, Miller's Crossing, Big, Throw Mama from the Train, Raising Arizona, Blood Simple. So really good cinematographer. He went on to be a director. Of Men in Black 3, Men in Black 2, Men in Black 1, Get Shorty, Addams Family Values. Wow, Beverly Hills Cop, the TV movie. Oh, wow. Huh. Wow, that's the TV pilot that they shot with... I think with Eddie Murphy, but it was never released because it was really bad. Apparently, that's the rumor anyways. I don't know. And now we have Beverly Hills Cop 4 coming out, so... But anyways, I mean, he also shot... I think he directed Wild Wild West, so... he's made some bad stuff. But anyways, really good cinematographer. It's probably one of the Coen brothers' most beautifully shot movies, I'd say. This and Hail Caesar, probably. But yeah, I'll get into spoilers. So then all of this kind of comes to a head when Gabriel Byrne is he's totally angry at his friend Tom Reagan. And he tells him that she's two-timing you with me. He tells him that just so that he would dump her and then he'll give Turturro to the Italian Mafia. Reagan then beats him up, throws him out, and then Gabriel Byrne goes to work for the Italian Mafia, and then they have him go kill Turturro because earlier Marcia Gay Harden told him where he is because she kind of trusted him. But really, Gabriel Byrne, no one should trust. I mean, it's like the only person that he kind of, he is loyal to his friend Tom Reagan. I'd say that. But, and then that's the famous scene, in this poster when he's out in the forest and he's begging for his life. because he goes out there with two other guys, but they want him to do the murder. So they send him in the forest with Totoro. And the guy's begging for his life. And then Gabriel Byrne pulls out his gun and he shoots into the ground. And he's like, run, never come back to town, disappear. And he does, and he shoots into the ground more times, and they think he killed him. But of course, Totoro is really a slime bucket of a guy. You can't trust him at all. He shows up at Gabriel Burns' apartment a few days later, and he's like, I was thinking, now I own you, because if they find me, if they know I'm alive, then they're going to kill you. So he wants him to do some things for him, like, what does he want? Oh yeah, he wants John Polito dead. Right. He wants John Polito dead. And he kind of like agrees to it. But Gabriel Burns is way smarter than him, so in the end, what Gabriel Burns does is he kills the Dane. John Polito then meets Totoro at his apartment to kill him. Totoro kills John Polito, and then Gabriel Burns tricks Totoro, gets him to give him his gun, and then he's like, "Okay, we're gonna blame John Polito's death on the Dane." And he's like, "Okay, good, yeah, that sounds good." And he's like, "Oh wait, we can't because I just killed the Dane, so we're gonna have to blame it on you, and you're gonna die." So then he kills him. And it's funny, he's like, earlier he was like, well, you won't kill me because all I have to do is just start begging and crying and you'll let me go. So he's really pushing it, really pushing it. And he ends up getting killed by Gabriel Burns. So, but yeah, interesting movie. It's kind of all over the place with everyone has the different motives, very different motives, and that's something that Ebert talks about. So he says The Room. I keep thinking about The Room, the office from which Leo pulls the strings that controls the city. Leo, played by Albert Finney, is a large, strong man in late middle age, and he lacks confidence in only one area. He is not sure he can count on the love of Verna, the young dame he's fallen for. That causes him to hesitate when he knows that Verna's brother Bernie should be rubbed out. He doesn't want to lose Verna, and his hesitation brings the city's whole crime network crashing down in blood and violence. But I think about The Room. What a wonderful room, all steeped in dark shadows with expensive antique oak furniture. And he starts going on about this, that like the movie's like too good looking, and this room's too good looking, and he doesn't buy it. I'm not sure I actually agree with that, because I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like The Godfather, like they're in these like he's in that room. It's a beautiful room. I don't know. That kind of annoyed him. He doesn't think Leo would have such an office, but. He says, this doesn't look like a gangster movie. It looks like a commercial intended to look like a gangster movie. Everything is too designed. That goes for the plot and the dialogue, too. The dialogue is well written, but it is indeed written. Well, yeah, I'd agree with that. We admire the prose rather than the message. People make threats, and we think about how elegantly the threats are worded. Miller's Crossing comes from two traditions that sometimes overlap: the gangster movie 1930s and the film noir of the 40s. It finds its characters in the first and its visual style in the second. But the visual lacks a certain stylish tackiness that film noir sometimes had. They're in good taste. The plot is as simple as an old gangster movie, but it takes us a long time to figure that out, because the first half hour of the film involves the characters and complicated dialogue where they talk about people we haven't met and refer to a lot of possibilities we don't understand. It's the kind of movie you have to figure out in hindsight. That's true. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot to admire. Albert Finney's especially good as Leo. Yeah, there's especially a really cool scene with Finney and a Tommy gun, and that scene's awesome. It's an awesome shootout scene. The crime boss and John Polito is wonderful as Johnny Casper, his rival. He keeps talking about business ethics. Yeah. Multiple times in the movie, he goes off a tangent about ethics. One of the most interesting characters in the movie is Bernie Birnbaum, John Turturro, a two-timing bookie who pleads for his life in a monologue that he somehow keeps afloat long past any plausible dramatic length. The pleasure of the film are largely technical. It is likely to be appreciated by movie lovers who will enjoy its resonance with films of the past. What it doesn't have is a narrative magnet to pull us through a storyline that makes us really care about what happens, aside from the elegant mechanical manipulations of the plot. The one human moment comes when Leo finds out Verna really can't be trusted. Even then, I was thinking about Farewell, My Lovely, where a big mug named Moose finds out the same thing about a dame named Velma. Okay, I haven't seen that, but other than his criticism about, I mean, the look of the movie, which I get what he's saying about how it's steeped in two traditions. I think that's probably true, but good review. It's always interesting to get Ebert's perspective, and I think it's a 3 out of 4 stars. So Steve Buscemi was cast as Mink because he could speak faster than anyone else. Okay, he's also barely in the movie. Yeah, he does speak very fast in this. He's like in one scene. Writers, the Coen brothers suffered writer's block while writing Miller's Crossing. They took about 3-week break and wrote Bard and Fink, a film about a writer with writer's block. The name of Tom Reagan's residence is the Barton Arms. John Polito was originally offered the role of Eddie Dane, but he campaigned for the part of Johnny Casper. In the script, the film takes place in 1929. The Coen brothers reportedly turned down Batman 1989 because it would have interfered with this film. No way. Wow, they almost directed a Batman movie? Well, that would have been way different. I'm glad it went to Tim Burton, though. But that could have been interesting. This was the Coen brothers' first collaboration with Steve Buscemi and John Turturro. This is the last Coen brothers film in which Barry Sonnenfeld worked as cinematographer. He claims it as his favorite because it was an easy shoot. Okay. The cinematographer, Barry Sonnenfeld, married his wife Susan at the wrap party on a riverboat on the Mississippi. Understandably, Miller's Crossing remains his favorite collaboration with the Coen brothers. Right, because then he would go on to start directing movies. So, but yeah, I really like this one. I watched it years ago. I liked it. Just rewatched it. So, yeah, check it out, especially if you're a Coen brothers fan. I think you'll enjoy it. And, yeah, like, comment below. And I think that's about it. See you next time.